Hey everyone, I got another manga review for you. This time we're reviewing Spy Family, or Spy X Family, because I guess they saw the title for Hunter x Hunter and they thought, damn, X's look cool. So there was a lot of hype around this series, especially now because the anime is coming out next year. So I had to read it, and one of the best choices I ever made. Honestly, this is up there. Like, as far as quality goes, this is pretty high up there. I don't know if I would say it's my favorite manga, of course. That title still probably belongs to Mob Psycho 100. But the writing of this manga is pretty high quality stuff here. It comes off as pretty mature, well-grounded, while also being hilarious, action-packed, and wholesome. It's everything that I want in a manga series every single time I pick up one. But maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, so let me explain to you what this manga series is about. At first I thought, based on the title, this was going to be like a Spy Kids thing where, you know, there's a whole family and they're all secretly spies. That would have also been funny. But no. Spy Family actually tells the story of one spy who was sent to their neighboring country during a Cold War in order to create a fake family, enroll their child into an academy, and use this child to get closer to the head of the academy, the owner, who has some suspicions raised against him. Now, normally, when it comes to spies putting together a fake family, they're a family of other spies, you know, the spy organization just gets people or actors to play as their family. But in this case, he has to put together his family all on his own. So he actually has to adopt a young girl, and the young girl who he adopts is Anya. Now, he chooses to adopt her because he believes that she's really smart based on his conversation with her. Really astute for her age. But little does he know, the reason why she's so astute is because she can read minds. This young child was experimented on and became a telepath because of it. And she's not supposed to reveal to anyone that she can read minds, so she keeps it a secret this whole time, just being happy to be adopted, and knowing, of course, that he's a spy. He doesn't know that she knows he's a spy, but she knows. And the woman who he asks to be his fake wife, little does he know, is actually a trained assassin who keeps this secret from him, while he keeps the secret that he's a spy from her. And yes, Anya knows everything. It's kind of an interesting setup we have here where Anya is like the character Link to the audience. She's reacting to all of their crazy secrets and their double lives, while also having her own adventures on the side, because she has a role to play in his mission to get closer to the owner of the academy. Now, the last member of the family is a dog, who also had experiments performed on him. And the dog can see into the future. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Kid Cosmic Cat, only better. Now, in most cases, maybe the dog seeing into the future wouldn't be very valuable because the dog can't communicate what they saw in the future or how to prevent it. But in this case, Anya can read minds, so she knows what the dog is seeing in the future. So we have a pretty interesting family put together, and the series follows their many adventures, including, you know, the husband and wife going on all sorts of missions, which Anya tries to help them with, kind of like how, Brain helps, like, Inspector Gadget. And during Anya's own missions, she has to get closer to the child of the bad guy. And it's one of those things where she's, like, really oblivious and is not really quite sure how to befriend this guy. She ends up accidentally making him fall in love with her, but he's very tsundere, and she just does not understand anything about romance yet because she's still very childish, so it goes right over her head, and she's completely convinced that that kid hates her. I really love how fleshed out all the characters are. They are all very interesting in their own independent ways, and I love how they all try to get along with each other and try to continue with this family facade. Of course, as the series goes on, you're getting that feeling that they're becoming closer together, and maybe, just maybe, this will become less professional and more personal between them all. And I think that the series could only get better by their secrets being revealed, because I would love to see them all work together on these missions, or at least, be fully aware that they're working together on these missions. Honestly, I see it all the time with these manga series that are aimed at teenagers. They always have all this trashy stuff in there. They always have an abundance of fan service and titties on the screen most of the time. There's hardly any fan service in this whatsoever. It's almost like you don't even need that. It's crazy. But that's also why I would probably compare this with One's writing the most, like with Mob Psycho 100 and One Punch Man, both fantastic series that were written in a shockingly mature way that can appeal to a much wider world. There were a couple of worries that I had going into the series. The first being that the wife was an assassin. I thought, oh man, so she's just a paid killer? Does that mean that she's not really a good guy? And they portray her to be so sweet when she's just like being herself. And it made me think, man, you can't have her also be evil and have her be this sweet. It's just not fair. But they do go on to show what her assassin job really entails, and it seems like she's only killing bad guys. And that works for me. Another thing that worried me is the fact that there are some lore dumps here and there about like the complications between this Cold War between the two countries. And I thought to myself, are they gonna insert some politics here and there? Granted, the two countries are completely fictional, and as far as I can tell, they're not supposed to mirror any real-world countries. As I've read the entire series up to, this point, I noticed it was less about political stances that the two countries have that causes this Cold War, but rather instead the Cold War seems to be caused by old wounds from old wars. But they go on to show us that there's a lot of good people on both sides, and the only people who are really shown to be definitely evil are the terrorists who are trying to trigger the war to begin. So they're normally fighting these extremists, these terrorists who are trying to actually start a war, rather than the governments, which I found quite intriguing. First of all, I'm all for being anti-terrorist and anti-extremist. But even more so, there are these terrorists who they fight who strap bombs onto dogs to try to use them as weapons. And no dogs get exploded because they kill the shit out of those terrorists. They beat the fuck out of them, and I was so happy. All dog abusers, get the fuck out of here! But as far as real-world politics being inserted in here, like real-world political stances that are trying to pressure onto the reader, like you should believe this, otherwise you're evil, I'm not really seeing that. It seems like it's just anti-terrorist type stuff, and I assume that we're all anti-terrorists, right? I mean, unless you are a terrorist. But overall, my experience reading this series has just been fantastic. I have had so many moments where I'm like crying, laughing, reading these different adventures that they go on. All of the action scenes are really cool and exciting. And then they just hit me with like these really nice, wholesome, emotional moments out of nowhere. And every single time I read this series, I don't read it feeling bummed out about the world. I feel good. It makes me feel nice after I put it down and read it, which I enjoy. I like books that do that, where I can read it and I don't have to worry about it ruining my day by depressing me so much. There's so much edgy content out there, and sometimes you just need a break. You just need to read something nice that'll make you laugh and leave you with a smile. So I would highly recommend this series to just about anyone, really. I do think that it's probably worth all the hype, and I'm super excited to see the anime that comes out. There's actually a lot of good anime coming out next year, so I'm excited for a lot of things, but I must be patient. So if you have any thoughts or criticisms on Spy Family, leave them down below in the comments section. If you enjoyed this review, review, remember to leave a like as usual. Subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews from me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Program restart.